Once again from DPL Surveillance Equipment. I'm trying to get caught up on my podcast. I think a lot of good content that I'd like to share with you guys. I just completed my 5-mile walk over here in Camarillo. Very nice weather. Couldn't be better. I don't think it could be better. It's just a very nice environment to walk today. The temperature or whatever, everything is just very conducive to getting out and taking a nice walk. Let's see, got a little bit of noise. Let me see if I can find a better place. I may have to sit in my car or something, but we're going to make this try to get right to the point on this one, hopefully. Anyway, I'm owner of DPL Surveillance Equipment, full-service surveillance and security equipment company. We have lifetime guarantees and warranties on all the products, 24/7, 365 tech, sales, and customer support. The largest inventory of items, not only can you buy, but you can rent or lay away as well. We do accept Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum in the shopping cart. The website itself has been completely redesigned. We have tons of new products that we listed, tons of used products that we listed on there. Overall, very good shopping experience, I think. All the information, all the educational information is free, by the way. And don't use MasterCard, don't use Visa, don't use American Express if you have Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. If you know any better, use Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. That way we don't feed the scandalous system that's keeping everyone financially oppressed and preventing them from reaching their financial goals and establishing any modicum of financial sovereignty. So you guys have to learn the difference. If you have any questions or any doubt or whatever, go to my website, look under cryptocurrencies, look under this article, this category called Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, either in the articles, either on the videos or the podcast, whichever one you choose. You'll learn a lot about cryptocurrencies. Just get on top of it and do yourself a favor. Now, this particular session is dedicated to, I think I'm going to put this under health and fitness. The article, the podcast and the article is entitled, Brain Scans Can Detect Who Has Better Skills. Experts say newly published research represents a step towards systems that can assess levels of expertise and competence using neurological data to gain new insight into how highly specialized workers learn skills or react to stressful situations. Researchers are leveraging advanced scanning technologies to look at what's happening inside the brain. In the latest findings, a team of researchers studied surgeons as they performed surgical simulations and found they could identify novice from experienced surgeons by analyzing brain scans taken as the physicians worked. The researchers, who described their findings Wednesday in the journal Science Advances, said that the part of the brain involved in planning complex behaviors was more active in the novices. Skilled surgeons have more activity in the motor cortex, which is important for movement. The researchers who developed a machine learning system to analyze the scans also showed that training resulted in a shift towards higher activity in the motor cortex. Checking for skills. Brain activity between skilled surgical practitioners and unskilled practitioners differ, according to new research using brain scans. In total, the brains of roughly 30 surgeons and trainees were monitored while they performed pattern-cutting tasks that are a part of professional tests for certifications. The brain data matrix were more accurate than current professional tests used to assess the same manual skills, according to the study. The researchers said the system is experimental and still early in testing. Biomedical engineers not involved in the research called the findings exciting and a step towards systems that can assess levels of expertise and competence using neurological data. They add to a growing body of research on the brain activity of aircraft pilots, air traffic controllers, athletes, doctors, and others to gauge mental workload, skills learning, and hand-eye coordination. Such information could have implications for how workers are trained and how they do their jobs, bioengineers said. Researchers think such devices could be used to give workers feedback about their performance and to predict who would be a good baseball player or surgeon. Neurodata could offer more objective measures of performance and proficiency than medical certification boards now use, according to the researchers' team, which included engineers and surgeons. Ultimately, they want to improve the way surgeons are trained and not limit what they can do, they said. A future iteration of their technology could be used to assess comfort levels with certain medical procedures or to help doctors figure out whether they're rusty on certain skills or too fatigued to operate, they said. I just want to add in, according to what I'm reading here, it looks like the activity in the brain is telling the observers whether or not the training is actually actually allowing the people to respond better. In other words, as you get more oxygen in certain parts of your brain when training, that's what you want, right? So your training is obviously more effective when you see those when you see those portions of the brain light up as a result of good training. So, again, I think this is very instrumental in terms of making sure that when we train for certain things, if the brain is lighting up, that means that type of training is actually sinking in and making a difference as compared to certain methods of training that don't cause the brain to light up. So what you want is a good training regimen that causes the brain to light up. Then that way we know that the novices or even the skilled surgeons are actually learning and the brain is lighting up, indicating that it's actually making a difference. Okay? Moving right along. The team is looking to test their system in more realistic settings and to include tests of cognitive skills, according to the researchers. For the current study, they assess only motor performance. Critical to the success of the technology is the social issue of acceptance, said Silverinu Day, the director of the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute Center for Modeling, Simulation, and Imaging in Medicine in Troy, New York. Doctors must want to use it, said Dr. D, who co-led the research. Some neuroethicists worry about making brain assessments compulsory. In recent years, tools to measure human brain activity while people are active rather than sitting still in giant scanners have improved and become more widely available. That allows scientists to get data in environments closer to what a person would experience normally. The researchers in Wednesday's paper relied on a technology known as FNIRS, short for Functional Near-Infrared Spectroscopy. Spectroscopy. A person wears a skull cap embedded with tiny lasers that beam near-infrared light into the skull. Some of that light reflects back out and can be captured by a detector placed nearby. The quality of the detected light gives scientists clues as to whether blood flowing to the brain is oxygenated or not. An increase in oxygenated blood suggests more brain activity. The device, which has 16 of such optical sensors, doesn't measure neural activity directly. So again, I think this is a good breakthrough because I was trying to learn certain things on certain jobs while I was working for corporate America, and certain people were able to teach me complex things while certain other people, or trainers rather, couldn't teach me certain complicated subjects like math, algebra, calculus, even the technical support. And depending upon who I actually was trained by, it made all the difference in the world. Certain people were able to actually resonate with me and teach me certain things, while others teaching the same subject matter couldn't. So I think this could be a big breakthrough in terms of what type of training is actually sinking into your head or your brain, depending upon the brain activity and the scans or scan results. Hassan Ayez, a Drexel University biomedical engineer experienced with building FINARS, which is, again, functional near-infrared spectroscopy, devices said the basic principles reported in the study in which he wasn't involved could eventually be useful in fields like design and marketing to understand how people use products or make purchasing decisions. There is growing interest in such optical sensors among researchers worldwide, he said. Similar technology is being used to detect brain bleeds, he added. Silicon Valley investors looking to develop mass market brain interfaces are also experimenting with FineRs and other similar technologies. Facebook Incorporated is reportedly developing brain optical imaging technology. The company didn't respond to a request for comment. In the past year or so, the decades-old FineRs technology had this surprising renaissance because of Silicon Valley's investment, says Elizabeth Hillman, a biomedical engineer at Columbia University's Zuckerman Institute. The resurgence is already raising ethical questions about how to act on brain data acquired with such devices because the scans may not truly be capturing all aspects of a person's performance, she said. The new research, in which she wasn't involved, is interesting because it could be a valuable tool for training, but more work needs to be done to mitigate the risk of discriminating people based upon incomplete data, she added. These precautions are very well founded, mainly because we want to gather as much information in terms of how people learn. See, when you're trying to teach people different things, you want to know whether or not it's actually resonating with them. Just like when you're exercising, you want to know what exercises are more effective for you, what diet is more effective for you. So just like we learn in a number of different disciplines, everyone is different in terms of how they learn, what they can eat, how they respond to exercise and such. And this is another area, I think, where we have to actually look at the brain and look at the activity, look at the amount of oxygen flowing in certain centers of the brain to determine whether or not you're actually paying attention or not. And I think as these devices get more portable and more sophisticated, we're all going to find out how we can learn more efficiently, more effectively. I'm thinking that certain times of day or night are going to be better to learn and train. Certain times, after certain meals, maybe we can do some exercise, maybe certain supplements, diet. All these things are going to help probably give us a very good idea in terms of whether or not we're learning and whether or not the brain is actually responding by, again, showing those oxygenated sections of the brain. And then that way we can spend more time learning and absorbing information and benefiting from it as compared to just reading or listening without even absorbing the material or whatever. Okay, so this session was brought to you guys in an effort to help learn about the brain itself. And as I like to say at the conclusion of every podcast, keep your eyes and ears open and be safe out there. Have a good day. Thank you. Take care. Bye.